Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to have this honor bestowed upon me. I have a lot of people to thank. It may take like the Academy Awards for me to thank everybody, but I do want to single out certain people. First of all, our Board of Governors. When President Cage recommended that this building be named for me, the Board of Governors, from what I learned, unanimously approved that. And I want to thank all the members of the Board of Governors for that. I'll start by saying, later I'll talk about some other initiatives, but when I first heard from, I'll go ahead and say, Captain Del Valle, he's retired, he kept saying, we want to name something after you. And I said, I have a brick by the Walker Convocation Center, and I also have 2 benches down there. And I'm working on a tree because I'm on the tree committee. And he said, no, we need to have something else. And I kept telling him, no, we do not. And then he called back and said, we need a statue. And I said, definitely not. And then he talked about a building. And I told him, we don't need a building named after me. And he just persisted on that. And I guess that's why we're here today. But I want to go back and thank all of those who have spoken, specifically President Cage. As he mentioned, he is a friend, and he's a friend of West Virginia State University. And I think in the future, all of us will realize the impact that he will bring to this university. A truly outstanding, I'll say legislator, I like to say that, we joke about it, but nevertheless, a president, a person with a true heart. And so I'm pleased that you are our president. I have to thank my cousin. We always end with cuz whenever we text. But like he stated before, I did not know he was related to me at all. Maybe he would not have been here. but the key thing is that when we learned and so forth, I was impressed by his background. He came from the University of Illinois, but he also was at Alabama A&M. And I was looking for someone with land grant status, experience from an 1890 and an 1862 land grant university. And he brought both. And I could tell you some more stories, but they will be in the book. I don't want to embarrass him, but the key thing about it, he worked very, very hard. And I never will forget one thing that he said. I sent him to a meeting of the 1890s, I think it was in Delaware, and he came back and said he'd never been treated so bad in all his life. And I told him that in the future, one day you're going to be head of the land grant movement. And he did become the head of the land grant movement, not only for the 1890s, but the 1862s and all of land grant. And I'm just so very proud of you and all that you've done. I hate to see you leave, but I knew that some other school needed your services. You've done enough here, and you have to let people move on. And so you're doing an outstanding. I didn't expect you to take the staff with you. But I understand they needed you as well. The key thing about it, you're forgiven, but and getting back to the individuals who first started the initiative for naming a building after me, it started with Del Valle from San Antonio, Texas. And he was a graduate of West Virginia State. And he kept saying something needed to be named after you. And I kept saying nothing needs to be named after me. And he garnered the support of Lieutenant Colonel Tom Jones in Georgia. And together they kept working on it. They moved on, got Brother Glover Smalley, who many of you know, who worked for long years in our alumni affairs and serving West Virginia State. And then they picked up Billy Lipscomb, who I think all of you know, a very good friend of mine, and along with the chair of our National Alumni Association, Dr. Latif Safour, the five of them that I now call the Fab Five, Fabulous Five, that were able to get this building named after me through the help of the president and President Jones, Chair Jones of our Board of Governors. So I'm appreciative of all of you and your efforts. But I have to say that I kept wondering why. Why me? What did I do to have this bestowed upon me? And it wasn't until, I guess, last Sunday at my church, the title of the sermon was This and That. This and that. And I started thinking about this, thinking of this occasion. Why would a building be named after me? Then I started thinking about the that. And then it came to fruition for me because I have gone, when I graduated from West Virginia State, I had graduated with 143 hours. Not because I was dumb, because I lived right over here and there was nothing else to do but go to school. But then I was fortunate enough to have had some good teachers in Sunday school, Miss Ida Perkins and the late Joy Spencer. They instilled some things in me that caused me to continue to want to work and to continue to want to excel. And so I went on from here to Ohio State, and instantly I've been there 3 different times because I enjoyed it a little bit too much. But nevertheless, I went on to Kent State. But I've studied at 7 different universities, and I tried to bring back the knowledge of those universities, just the physical kinds of things, to West Virginia State. I'm not going to enumerate on all the things that I've done that are physical, that when I look at this campus, I take pride in. In fact, the back of your program book is a picture that I really like because the signage that exists on our campus is something that I recommended. I didn't do anything. I feel that you don't do anything alone. You recommend to the president, you recommend to the board. And so that's what I did, and having good leaders, that's what brought West Virginia State to be the kind of campus that it is today. Some of the things that many of you may have attributed to me, I did not do alone. The 2 accreditations, 2 10-year accreditations for this institution, Dr. Charles Ledbetter worked with me, and we shared that 10-year accreditation. Dr. Pam Sturm also worked for the second 2-year 10 accreditation. And then we turned it over to Dr. McMeans, who carried on for another 10 years. But the key thing, this institution is well respected and well represented throughout the United States. I could not have done any of what has been attributed to me without my wife. Edith, would you please stand? Thank you. I'm not a real, I guess, sentimental person. I don't cry a lot, but she has been with me through all of my education, through all of the times coming down here to the school on weekends, at night. She took care of our 3 very beautiful children, and they have prospered. And I just want to thank you for all that you've done, the support that you've given me. I don't think I can say too much more because it's getting hot. But I want to thank all of you very much, and I'm humbled and appreciative. Thank you.